Well, I did one a couple years ago called Brothers Justice, and then when we were doing some press for that movie, they kept asking, people were asking, what do you want to do next? And my partner Nate and I kept saying, we want to do a car chase movie, and so we kind of painted ourselves into a corner, and that we kind of had to do a car chase movie because we were telling so many people that we were going to, and then now we have.
I saw the Katie Hazelton movie that you did.
Oh yeah,
which
the freebie.
I love that. And I thought you two were great because there are not that many people who can do that kind of on your feet improv acting in a very intimate setting. And
we had met that day.
Amazing.
Like all that bedroom scene stuff was. Our first day of shooting was at night. They had worked with another actor for 3 days. That didn't work out. Mark called me and said, "Can you start tomorrow night?" I said, "Sure." So we had one dinner table scene, and that's it. And then the next day was all that bedroom stuff. So we had known each other for maybe 14 hours or something. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a sign of a love addict that you could click that quickly into.
You must have. I mean, you've done. I loved you in the Jean Favreau.
Zathura, yeah. The unpronounceable movie.
Yeah, the movie that nobody knew what it was. But proved that John Favreau could direct, so that helped. But you have really a lot of acting chops, and I wondered how much the Hazelton experience informed the way you directed this movie.
It didn't, in that the freebie was entirely improv. Always had 2 cameras. There was no real plan in place. It was just, let's capture everything that's happening. It was 45-minute takes. We didn't have that luxury because we had car chases to contend with. So we had all these set pieces that had to get done within 6 weeks. So we needed a lot more of a militant plan of what shots we were getting, when we were getting them. We had far more pages per day to get through, and it was just a much different experience. Hit and Run was very traditional in that we knew exactly what and when and where we had to be at all times.
And what kind of a shooting schedule did you have? It sounds like it was fairly brutal.
6 weeks. 3 of the weeks being just car stuff. So really that left 3 weeks to film 108 pages. The script was 132
There's a lot
pages
of dialogue.
long. Yeah, it was 132 pages long, I think. And so when you get rid of the car chases, we still had like 100 pages to film in 3 weeks. So, there's a lot of long, talky scenes in the movie. That some of them were even longer before we edited. It was very quick-paced. But I like that the most. I don't like I work best when the engine's hot. I think a lot of actors that I work with, they work best. It's counterproductive to send people away to trailers for 3 and 4 hours, and then they get sucked into whatever drama and their real life's happening over this device. If you can keep everyone on set and you can get the vibe going, it's a lot better if you're just flying through stuff. I think you get better stuff.
What directors have you worked with who sort of informed you and helped you learn what you know as a director?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Because I've worked with a bunch of directors I look up to, a lot. Favreau being one of them, obviously. Tommy Schlamme directed the pilot of Parenthood, and he's as masterful as you can get as a filmmaker. I think he's won 9 Best Directing Emmys. With that said, I've not worked with a lot of people that are just handheld, follow the action, let's do it. And that's kind of the style I took to while we were shooting. That just, we got the best stuff and we worked that way.
So it wasn't Burt Reynolds that was your mentor here?
I mean, as an actor, I will say there's really
because there's an element of the good old boy action hero in your performance.
Absolutely.
You allowed it to be very athletic, to be very, you're not hiding, you're not trying to be coy.
Right.
You're a
I mean exactly who I am in real life, basically. Like, I'm a liberal who owns guns, so I'm masculine, yet I'm sensitive to my wife, and I like communicating and all these things. So my dedication was just to being who I am as a person is the kind of film I made. It's both oddly masculine and kind of, feminine and stuff. But the Burt Reynolds thing, I will say, is it's not an accident that Burt Reynolds was the biggest box office star 7 out of 10 years. And if you, I think, try to pinpoint what it is about him that made him so successful is he had a wonderful time making movies. It was visible and it was visceral. He winked at the camera in Smokey and the Bandit. He let you know, I'm having as much fun as you think I'm having. And that's palpable. People like that. I was a groundling for years, and I watched people on stage, and some of them did amazing and some of them didn't do well, and it had no relation to their improv skills or how good of writers they did or how spot on their characters were. The people that had a good time on that stage made the audience have a good time, and I think the same can be said for movies. And I think one of the special things that Hit and Run has is we're all friends. Everyone in the movie is really good friends, and we're all having a wonderful time, and I think that you can feel it in it.
And you're having a wonderful time with your wife, too. The two of you are engaged in a really fun way.
Yeah.
I mean, as a woman, I think it's an interesting question because it looks like a man's movie in some ways.
Right.
But it's not.
The packaging is very male.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty for us women, as you say, on the sensitive, talky side.
Yeah, and that was a shock to us as we started screening this movie with scores and whatnot, that we were testing highest with our older females, were like our highest demo, which in a car chase movie with tons of, car chases, that was a little bit shocking to us.
Well, you've been on the road already promoting this movie?
Yes.
So explain that plan.
Well,
and a little bit of the business side, like how you financed it, the risk you took, how much it cost, that kind of stuff.
Well, we are going around everywhere and we're showing it because, as you know, the conventional wisdom is if you have a stinker, you do not let anyone see it until like an hour before it opens on Friday. Whereas if you have something you like and people are loving, then you show it as many times as you possibly can. So, I remember seeing a Todd Phillips interview where he said that they had screened old school 300 free screenings. They did the same with Hangover. They did 300 free screenings. So I love the movie. I've got to see it play in front of a lot of audiences, and a lot of people are liking it. So we just are trying to show as many people as humanly possible. So I've been in Austin, Nashville, Knoxville, Bonnaroo, Chicago, Detroit, Seattle, Portland, San Diego.
How are you getting people to come and see the movie? What's the setup?
I don't know the magic behind how they announce it. I guess it's on radios locally, or I'll tweet about it. But like all of our screenings have been sold. I don't know, hundreds of thousands. But they're all sold out, which is great, and hopefully they'll tell other people.
So how did you finance it?
So we have two main producers on the movie, Andrew Panay and Nate Tuck, who's my best friend. Nate found a money source in Palm Springs. This guy, Jim Casey, who manages money, and his partner Kim, they had access to some money, and they read the script, and they said, it was getting to the point where we were running out of time. There wasn't going to be time for us to prep and shoot before I had to go back to Parenthood. And I would say we were about 24 hours away from me going, okay, it's not going to happen on this hiatus. And these people read it, and they said, we'll deposit money on Friday. If that's the cast you have, then we're good to go. No notes, no nothing. God bless them. And so we just had money, and we went and shot. And then before we had even wrapped, we had exclusive media had come on to sell the movie foreign, and so we were in the black before we wrapped, and everything's worked out pretty well.
When did Open Road come on?
Open Road, so exclusive bought foreign, and they went to AFM and they had cut together a trailer, and someone from Open Road happened to stop in Exclusive's booth, saw the trailer, and then contacted us. Our goal was to finish the movie and then do distributor screenings for domestic. It was important that we got a partner foreign early on so we could, help finish the movie. But beyond that, we were expecting to wait much longer to show it to people. But because of this AFM response, it became obvious that we should really show it now because it was getting a little bit of buzz and we wanted to capitalize on that. So I'd say within a week and a half of AFM, we did 3 distributor screenings. and Open Road was one of the companies that wanted to distribute it. And it's very hard to make that decision. You know, we have three really legitimate options, and it's become obvious that we tested, we chose right, and you know, that's become very, very clear.
Well, Ortenberg knows his stuff, and
yes.
There's a reason I think that an exhibitor, it's interesting why they would want this movie, because they know what their public actually wants. And so what you're seeing in the screenings and what I saw last night is a kind of, this plays like a populist, I don't mean to, it's a crowd pleaser.
Yes.
Which may not necessarily be a critic pleaser. How do you feel
Well, it has
that?
been so far,
yeah?
luckily. It's definitely been the most favorable thing I've been a part of critically, which has been shocking, yes.
Good.
I think it's smart enough that critics...
But you haven't gone to the festival with it.
Yeah, no interest in that, because I didn't want this to be seen as a small little movie. I want this to be seen as a huge car chase movie, and I didn't want any of those sticky attachments that you get when you go Sundance Indie. I think that puts everyone in a paradigm that I didn't want this movie, and so I had no interest in going there. I doubt they would have even taken us, but if they would have taken us, it would.
South by would have.
Still, I wanted a distributor to come on and treat this like a big car chase movie, and that's what Open Road did. And I'm really grateful that happened. That we weren't discovered at a midnight showing, in Austin or something.
Fantastic festers. All right, so how,
and those are all great. I have nothing.
Yeah.
They have their place, but
you're going a different way. I applaud you.
Yeah. All this stuff is perception, and I think that's part of it, right out of the gates. Is that and but as far as Open Road, they have an advantage. What limits you with, as you know, is that there's a set cost you cannot avoid, and that's P&A. You can't get around that. You can now make movies very inexpensively. There's a way to do that. The technology allows us to shoot inexpensively. But there's a fixed cost to opening a movie, and that's unavoidable. And what Open Road has the advantage of is saturation within their, in their theaters. So you can't. That becomes invaluable. If you're a fourth, fifth tier, mini major or whatever, you're not going to have poster saturation at Regal. You're not going to have your trailer playing. There's all these things that that they have to offer that was very advantageous to us.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
And they're not in the ancillary market business. They're not trying to just get DVD revenue or VOD revenue. And there's other offers that we have from good places that they'd be happy with. A double on VOD and DVD, that would be great for them.
With
That's
Bradley
not what we wanted.
and
Yes.
Yeah,
I wanted it to